this community very happy to see those things go away.
Hear, hear, hear.
And what's the cost? What's the cost? Redflex is making a killing off of these things. They're making so much money, they've sent an attorney here to speak to you today. I'm not being paid to be here. I'm here of my own free will because I think what's going on is wrong. And I know the legalities of these issues, and these people behind me are my friends. That's why I'm here. The guy from Redflex is here because he's getting paid a lot of money to be here. And Redflex is paying him a lot of money to be here because Redflex is making so much money off of these cameras that at the slightest request from the captain, they can afford to write a $100,000 check to cover his costs of administering their program. See, Redflex is smart enough to see, hey, there's a little bump in the road. Victorville City Police, they're on a tight budget. They're having problems funding this thing. Let's give them $100,000 real quick so we can cover the cost of funding it so we can keep this gravy train moving. Yeah. Right? Redflex is smart. Redflex is thinking financially. There's a way out of the contract. You have a city attorney here. You have a company in Arizona who's made a killing off the citizens of Victorville, the citizens of the surrounding area based on this. Redflex is keen to this. Redflex knows what's going on. Redflex knows this is all going to come to an end. They're wise to that. This is a scheme, essentially. And they're well aware that it's all going to end soon. It's done in Orange County, it's done in LA. And if you consider what that's cost compared to our few cameras that we have here in Victorville, it's a pittance. There's 180 people here who would volunteer to go take those cameras down for you right now. I think my request is clear that I'm asking the City Council to put this on the agenda and vote to get rid of the cameras. There's going to be some cost involved, but there's cost involved in everything. If you want stricter enforcement, if you want people enforcing traffic laws, then give him more money, because he needs it. Give him more money to get a couple more guys on motor units out there enforcing traffic laws. It'll have the same effect, but it won't violate your citizens' rights in doing so, because they'll have their right to confront and cross-examine their accuser. They'll have a live witness there who can come to testify, and they can have their day in court, and it will be fair. Unlike these cameras. So, that's my urge to this council, that you do the right thing, that you not look at accident statistics, that you look first at the Constitution and look at the legalities of this thing and ask yourself, am I violating my citizens' rights by keeping these things in place? And that will be the end of the debate. When you've asked yourself that question, you'll come to the conclusion that they need to go at that point. And you won't need to consider the statistics. So I thank you for your time. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I have technical questions, but I think that would be for Redflex.
I do have, go ahead. You indicated that there was an appeal that went to the Supreme Court or the request to the state Supreme Court we're talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
They went to the state Supreme Court to delist a ruling from Orange County.
Yes, sir.
And I understand the published concept of that, but it's a much stronger case if it's published as not published. It was published in Orange County at that ruling, and then when it got, how did somebody have to go to the state Supreme Court and ask for it to be unpublished? The Redflex initiated that action?
That's correct. The defendant lost in the trial court. He was convicted of running the red light. That was appealed. The appellate court reviewed the issue and indicated that the evidence should not have been admitted against him, that it was not properly admitted, that it violated his rights. So they reversed the case and undid the finding of guilty, found the individual not guilty. They wrote an opinion that's been submitted It's actually a very well-written opinion. It's very easy to follow. It lays out the two exceptions that these photographs can come into court under, and then chalks out why they're improper and why they were not admitted properly.
Okay, I don't want to go through that definition, but the final analysis is that the state Supreme Court said, no, we're going to deny that, we're going to keep it published. Is that the way it went?
That's correct. There was a petition filed by Redflex to the California Supreme Court in Sacramento requesting that they order the case be published.
Okay.
And that was denied by the California Supreme Court. It's in the minutes. I apologize, I don't have the date of the minutes. It's very easy to find. You could actually Google search the Khalil case, and you'll find that. I'd be happy to get it and submit it to the city attorney.
I'm not an attorney. I just bump into somebody. I can't know their language a little bit. And I know that maybe this has to do with a slightly different nuance than maybe the constitutionality of it. I think the basic question, though, coming from most of these folks, is whether they feel that this is the right thing for us as a governmental entity to do or not to do. I'm not going to, probably, and most of us in this council won't want to be battling that legal issue too much, but I was interested in that one nuance there. It is still a published ruling, nevertheless. Okay.
It is published, yes, sir. The California Supreme Court declined to remove it. I guess the issue is this council could pass a city ordinance that requires all residents to install cameras in their homes.
No, I get the story. I get the analogy.
It wouldn't work out real well, but you could do it.
Just a question. Your whole argument then is just that it's unconstitutional, and you provided a document for us to look at.
I have done that.
Supports that.
I have, yes, sir. The argument's going on.
Nobody likes it. I understand that. I don't either. But I support the police chief, and I support those stats, and I know that it has reduced traffic collisions and so on. But the only thing I have to look at is if it's unconstitutional, and that's the only thing I'm going to look at.
Right, and if you review that case, it's a very well written, very simple written case. You'll see it applies. It's not a case that only applies in Orange County. It doesn't say if you're within 3 miles of the beach. There's nothing in there. I don't mean to be sarcastic, but there's nothing in there that would cause that to apply here to all of us. It's very simple, and I'm sure the city attorney it's very simple law school evidence code issues that chalk it out.
And just to clarify something, as you can see the figures, there's no money being made for the city from these apparatus. And it was totally, the decision was made back in 2007. It was for public safety, and that's all it's ever been.
Right, and I get it. I understand sometimes the government says, hey, this seems like a great idea, and I'm sure that Redflex came in here and sold this. As would I if I were in charge of Redflex. They're making a killing off of this thing. So I understand that, and I don't blame the people who put them into place, but I'm just telling you that they made a bad decision. Now you're here, and now it's up to this council to make a decision. It's being presented to you that it's violating your citizens' rights. And so now it's to you to act to get rid of these things or not. At some point, I'll get one through. It's very difficult to get one through the court, quite honestly. I go into court and fight these things. I'm 7 for 7. I haven't lost a red light ticket. Because if I win and my client is found not guilty, I can't file an appeal. So I think there's some gamesmanship that goes on in the courts that when I go in, and it's well known, I file a 28-page trial brief prior to having a red light camera take it heard. I handle murder cases. I don't file a 28-page trial brief prior to a murder trial. I file a 28-page trial brief prior to handling a red light camera. It's really well known where I'm trying to get with that. I'm trying to get through this court to the appellate court so I can get a decision that saves all the citizens of this entire county from these red light cameras. Because once the appellate court says they're no good, they're done. They're off. But I can't get it.
Ms. Roy, a question for you. You've cited cases in Los Angeles County and Orange County. And I do travel in both counties, and I continue to see red light cameras. If they've been found unconstitutional, why haven't they been removed in those counties?
My understanding is that the red light cameras are there. I was actually just down in Orange County recently too. I did see red light cameras, but I do not believe that they are operational. I do not believe they're issuing citations at this time from those cameras. They haven't had a chance to take them out. I understand the camera right here by Del Taco. That camera was taken offline over a year ago, is my understanding. They just were out there removing it just a couple weeks ago. So my understanding is it just takes a while for them to actually come and take them out. Okay. My understanding is they're offline. I can tell you if you get a red light camera ticket in Orange County, if they actually issue a citation, you'll beat it because you just take that case in and show the judge and that's it, it's over. But I can't imagine you get one.
Any further questions?
I do have one question, and I don't disagree with the analysis, but are you aware of a case in California that has actually found red light cameras per se unconstitutional as opposed to the evidentiary provisions going in, which certainly I agree with you have been deemed to be unconstitutional. Are you aware of a case in California where red light cameras per se are unconstitutional?
I don't think we've gotten that far yet, sir. That's the problem. It is new law. It's law that's being made.
The reason I asked the question, and the council should be aware of this, that in the contract, there is a provision that to the extent the courts in San Bernardino County find red light cameras unconstitutional, we have a way of getting out of the contract.
The various courts is that when someone steps before the court, if the picture is not them, the court can contempt and cited for obstructing justice if they fail to identify the person whose picture appears in the ticket, in the picture. Yet another constitutional violation, those things that are happening live and in color in the courthouse. When I come in after watching 5 unarmed citizens be convicted just because they stand there not knowing what to do, when I step up, I've never lost, right? As an attorney, you can appreciate that. I've had 7 red light tickets. I've never lost one. I've won every one. There's something wrong there, right? How is that possible? Well, my suspicion is that if I win, I can't file an appeal. So as long as myself and some of the other local attorneys who are looking to get a case up on appeal, as long as we keep winning, we'll never be able to get a case up on appeal. So the attorneys are having huge success in winning these cases, but I think it's the right result for the wrong reason, quite honestly. I really wish I would lose one. I had a client who wanted to lose so we could go up on appeal, and we won.
Audrey, if we cancel the contract and then later, and pay the penalties, and then later it's overturned in San Bernardino County, can we get a remainder?
That's going to be a question to litigate over the contract. There's a chance we'd have an argument at that point. The way the contract is written right now, it says any time the court in San Bernardino County finds that basically you cannot prosecute successfully a red light case under the contract, we'd be entitled to terminate the contract. I think it'd be difficult to argue retroactively that we'd be entitled to those monies. I mean, it may be a claim we could certainly make. That would be something we'd have to litigate.
And I would indicate, Ms. Vyas, that it would be impossible. If this council voted to shut the cameras off, there would be no further citations, leading to no further prosecutions, leading to no possibility of appeal that would have the court indicate that they were unconstitutional.